How you doing? Hopefully you're out there. Slanjava, everybody. Good evening. It's 8 o'clock. It's Whiskey Wednesday time. I hope there's some people out there. I think I see a few out there. As a reminder, if you're tuning into Facebook, because we're live right now, I'm Dave. I'm the designer of Distilled, owner of Paverson Games, and so excited to have all of you out today. As you know, we do a What's Up Whiskey Wednesday about once a month. I try to at least to just give you an idea of kind of what I'm working on, what things are up and out there, and also to answer your questions and hopefully get your comments, feedback, all that jazz. Remember, if you're a Facebook user, because we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube. I don't know. I clicked Twitch this time. I don't know. I don't even know if people do Twitch anymore, but I was like, hey, I can stream to more than one thing because I'm using StreamYard. If you're a Facebook user, be sure to go to StreamYard.com/Facebook because otherwise I actually can't see who you are when you comment because Facebook has to let you have that privacy thing. If you're on YouTube, don't worry. They don't care. They're all good. So post something in the chat. Let me know you're there. Let me know you're watching. We're going to get started. And again, feel free to ask any questions of me at any time in the comments too. What we're going to do is I've got a bunch of different stuff to go over. First, I'm going to be talking a little bit about what I'm drinking tonight. I'm actually having this out of my Bunnahabhain glass. You can see it. Let's see if I can tilt it the right way. So I don't know. Bunnahabhain. So yes, that's how you pronounce that. Bunnahabhain, not Bunnahabhain. Bunnahabhain. Delicious dram from Isla. I'm actually not having Bunnahabhain. I'm having some Lafroig because I love it. Cardet is 15-year-old. I got this when I visited Lafroig. Hey, Jamie, good to see you drinking some Kalila 12. Good. Got back. That's from the Promised Land. That's right. You came back from Scotland. Love it. Love it. So glad you're having some of that, enjoying some of that. I saw some of those pictures of you visiting distilleries and everything. I wish I was there. That was great. Ooh, some Ardbeg from Graham. Nice. We got a couple different Islas here today. Ooh, Ben, I like that. Hot pomegranate sake. Yeah, it's cold. Where are you from, Ben? Be sure, maybe write that in the chat. I don't know. Maybe you're up here too. Yeah, so we're in Menominee. I don't know what it is out right now, but I think it's going to be like 30 or 40 below tomorrow, maybe, or maybe that's Friday, but it's insane. So yeah, everybody should kind of bundle up out there and stay warm, folks. Stay warm. Minnesota. Okay, cool. Nice. Yeah. So it's the same as us. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Be sure to write in your comments what you're drinking tonight, what's up and what you're drinking. And I don't even know what that is. I'm going to drink some slurs when I get home. I probably am dating myself or something. I don't know what that is, but it sounds pretty awesome. The snow is coming. That's for sure, everybody. Hey, everybody. Hey, David, how you doing? We've got people from all over coming in. I got a couple of my Canadians joining me now, it looks like, which is awesome. So Jolly, it's Bavarian whiskey. That's awesome. So some slurs. Lots of stuff today. Lots of stuff to talk about. I want to keep it somewhat short and sweet, but I also have some stuff to show you too. First, I wanted to talk a little bit about what we're doing tonight, or what we're doing right now with Luthier. As you know, although Distilled's coming very soon, very, very soon, excited to talk about that. We're also in No Rest for the Weary, Wicked, whatever it is. We've been working on Luthier. We talked about that last time during our Whiskey Wednesday. I got to interview Abe. Abe's the original creator of Luthier, and now he and I are collaborating, working together along with Richard on kind of bringing some new ideas to the game as well, so that we get to have this as Paverson Games' next official title. That'll be coming out to Kickstarter in the future. So that's really exciting. We did that. We did the official unboxing of Distilled. Eric was here in person. You probably saw that. We were back behind there. And so now what we've got is a little bit of Luthier updates. I've got some Distilled updates. I want to show you some stuff that you're going to be able to kind of be a part of the process as we see the boat start kind of plugging across the ocean. We'll get to follow that along. So yeah, lots of good stuff. Oh my. Uh-oh. Are you serious? Did it actually happen? Because it was held up. Okay, so everyone sees this. So David says Omelette, his name is also, he goes by Omelette up on Discord, so that's what we know him best. He says another Canadian received a special package today. So just gonna blow the can off here. So first off, what he's talking about is Distilled. I sent an advanced copy of Distilled, like the ones you saw, to Ryan from Knights Around the Table. Many of you probably remember, hopefully, during the Kickstarter, an awesome how to play video. I thought it was so awesome by Ryan from Knights Around the Table that I wanted him to do the official, full-on, very first kickoff how to play video for Distilled. So I sent it to him ahead of time, but it got held up in customs because I put like $10 or $20 as the value on the box, because that's how much it cost me to make, and I was giving it as a gift essentially to him. Mind you, I am commissioning him, so it's not just for free. He's going to be doing this as a service, but still, I'm giving him the game. But Canadian Customs did not like that at all, so I had to do some extra stuff. So hopefully it might be, if anyone knows where Ryan lives besides Omelet, you could probably maybe knock on his door and ask him if he needs a couple other people to help play test the game before he does any sort of how to play video. So I'm just going to let the cat out of the bag there. Ryan is going to be doing the official how to play for Distilled when you all receive, and the intention is it's going to happen by the time it's going to be live by the time you receive your copy. So that you can queue up his. I will tell you that the one you see on Kickstarter right now, the one he did a year and a half ago, honestly, about 90% of it is fine. It's just not the final components. So again, really excited about that. And David, thanks for the good news. That means that hopefully he actually did get it. I know it was held up in customs for a while. So anyway, you're getting me off track, but I love it. Thanks to everybody. Graham, all our Ottawans coming here, which is great. And good to see you with all this stuff. And Thomas, a little Maker's Mark. That's wonderful too. So some good stuff. And yeah, Jamie asked, will that be posted to BGG? Oh yeah, for sure. It's going to be posted everywhere. It's going to be posted on his YouTube channel, posted online. I'm going to post it, of course, as well. And again, we're probably looking at hopefully kind of like a mid-January, late January posting. We'll see how that goes. So awesome stuff. Okay, so lots to get to. So like I said, Luthier is something we've been grinding on big time because I come home and every night, believe it or not, I basically work on this stuff all night and all weekends. And a lot of it's the business stuff of Distilled, which I'll talk a little bit about. But some of it is I've been able to have cover a little bit of design space. Richard and I have been working really hard on kind of fine tuning and tweaking Luthier. And also we've been playtesting a lot online. So some of you tuning in right now have actually already gotten to help playtest Luthier on our Discord channel. So as a reminder, we have a Discord channel. As I'm talking, I'm going to try and pull it up. I don't know. We'll see how this works. If I can do it, pull up the invite so you could actually click on it. I don't know if you'll be able to click on it in the thing or not, but we're going to try this. First time I've ever doing this. Let's see if it works. That's our Discord channel. Let's see if that works. Bing. I just posted the Discord invite. If you wanted to join our Discord and help play test Luthier, you can join our Discord channel, which is right there. You'll need to have Tabletop Simulator, and I would recommend getting pretty fluent and familiar with Tabletop Simulator before you do it. But a great way to help contribute to the future of the next game. This is exactly what we did with Distilled. Play tested it all the time online, in person. Speaking of in person, that's what we did with Luthier. I just got back a couple weeks ago from playtesting the physical version I've got. You can see here, this is my print and play prototype of Luthier. And essentially, I'll open it up for you. I didn't have my camera set up for this, but that's okay. Essentially, I've got all my bits in here. I lay it out. We've got all the cards. We've got things laminated as well. I mean, we're starting from scratch, people, right? So that's how this stuff works. That's how game development and design works. All my cards are printed cards that I put in sleeves so that I can pull them out easily as well. And all of this is stuff that you'll recognize and see online too, because this is essentially the same version that we're playing online. I am using, I'm cheating and using Distilled money for it. But anyway, it was a blast. We play tested it 4 times at Protospiel Madison. I also gave a talk at Protospiel Madison all about essentially from Protospiel to Kickstarter, the journey of Distilled. And I really tried. It was meant for designers. They are going to post it online. They recorded it, and they're going to post that YouTube link to the video online. So any aspiring designers out there will have that as well. So again, great fun, great feedback. Had some Distilled fans like Beth, Shimyo, and let's see who else was there. There were some other ones too. Tim was there. So Tim was one of our GMs for Distilled this summer at cons, and he was there. He helped play test it. So it was great to have Distilled fans out, new designers play it too. Lots of great feedback, lots of things we've tweaked since then. We've play tested a couple times online. I feel like it's getting better and better each time. I'm really excited for it. It is a heavier game though. So Distilled, we think is around a 3-ish on the BGG scale. This is definitely clocking at 3.5, 3.75. So again, that's something to keep in mind too, but we're excited about it. And David says that, Tricurion's behind me. I've had this set up for over a week because I wanted to play solo, and it took me so long to set up. I got frustrated, and I'm like, and I've only played the game once multiplayer with Houston, my friend, who's helped also run Distilled games at cons, and I need to just buckle down and play the solo mode. It just felt really overwhelming, and I just haven't had the headspace to do it lately. So it just sits here gathering dust. Anyway, so play tested it. It was awesome. We're play testing it on Discord as well. So join us over at Discord if you want. The last thing I'll say is, which is also really exciting, is that I've been doing some interviewing and communicating with artists and graphic designers for Luthier, and really excited about some of the things that we're looking at. So I'm very excited down the road to be able to announce some of that, hopefully, knock on wood, fingers crossed, for Luthier moving forward. So lots of fun stuff there too. I saw David's talking about Ryan took 6+ hours on his birthday stream solo for Tricurion. Yeah, I know it's a beast, but I really want to try it because I've heard it's a good crunchy little solo game. I liked the multiplayer, but it was only 2 players, so maybe that's why I wasn't too wild about it. But there's something about the theme and the game and everything that just keeps drawing me, making me want to like it. So I hope I do. So we'll see. So Luthier's moving along really well. But in all honesty, and we'll keep working on it, but in all honesty, we're moving into the season of Distilled because folks, it is getting real. They have, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'll get to that in a second, talking about freight and all that. So some updates. First, I'm working on a new website. I'm not doing it. Actually, I'm working with a local studio in town here in Menominee, who's designing a really I really wanted a robust, professional looking, polished website. Anyone that knows Keymaster Games out there, I really admire their site. They made Parks. And so it's not a copy of that site, but it's definitely inspired by that, and as well as a couple others. Roxley's got a gorgeous site. Elf Creek Games has a kind of a neat site. So I took it from some stuff from a lot of different ones, and I'm really excited about that. That's where people will be able to buy Distilled after the fact as well. Those that didn't back the Kickstarter, like many of you did. I'm also now officially an Amazon seller. So I'm going to be on, have an Amazon too. So that was cool. I'm setting up Shopify, lots of cool stuff. And also I wanted to show you today is actually a very special day. I didn't know it until I woke up this morning and Facebook reminded me, but, today is the anniversary. I kid you not, 3 years ago today, I announced that I was working on a game. Let's see if I can zoom in on this. So basically it says, I'm really excited to announce a new project I've been working on for the past few months. It's a game called Distilled. I don't know what's going on, but we'll see. So seriously, everybody, December 21st, 2019. So 3 years ago today, I announced Distilled to the world officially for the very first time. I just thought it would be fun to go through some of these. Let's go back to 100%. Go through some of these photos for you, kind of take a trip down memory lane so you can see, but also it's kind of fun because a lot of this is still here. So here's your player board, right? The distillery player board. You've got distillery cards and upgrades. So those are actually the same. Distillery card is your person you played with. Upgrades are still in the game. You had, it used to be you had a place for bottles and barrels on the side, but now you still have that. Grains, water, and yeast. So really it was all there as well. You can even see the jug. The jug is still in the game too. So really kind of fun stuff about that. You can see at the bottom of the grid, this is actually how Distilled started. When you would make something, it would, certain things scientifically exactly right, you could make it with, but certain things you couldn't. This was before I discovered the fact that what I need to have is 3 categories to make it easier: grains, plants, and fruits. But you can see the market actually has not changed much at all. It's maybe grown a little bit in the width and shrunk in the height, but overall yeast and water and grain, you've got different ingredients and barrels and bottles. Basically, I combine the barrel and bottle row together, and your upgrades at the top. So again, it's kind of same thing there. And this is a shot from the first play test. Not the first play test. The first play tests were actually in Scotland before this. This is the first one, though, after I had announced it to the public. So a couple of my friends over, actually, these hands with the ring is Seth Barrier, who helped develop the tabletop simulator mod. So that's Seth. And then a couple other friends of mine as well helped out. So pretty cool to see. I think that's it. Yeah, pretty cool to see that idea of kind of 3 years ago to the day is when I announced it to everybody. So fun stuff. All right. Let's move on. Yeah, if you have any questions throughout, please just toss them into the chat. I'm happy to answer those. And as a reminder, if you are tuning in on Facebook and you want me to actually know who you are, you're going to need to go and let Facebook let StreamYard know it's okay. So go to StreamYard.com/Facebook. All right. Okay. So next, what I wanted to do is I wanted to do something that probably many of you are tuning in for, is show you a couple more things that many of you are going to get with your Kickstarter delivery. Those things are an Africa and Middle East, a Kickstarter promo, just a mini expansion pack, as well as Africa and the Middle East expansion. So let's do this one first. This is easy, nice and simple. Every single person that backed the Kickstarter, it doesn't matter if you just got the base game and nothing else, the original blend, or if you got the signature blend, everybody's getting this, along with the metal coin. We've seen the big first player metal coin already. You all get that too. So everybody else gets this. Now, essentially, it's going to come in a little plastic thing. Because remember, Distilled itself, Distilled itself will just be the same for everybody. It's not going to be any different. It's all the stuff you get on the outside as a Kickstarter backer that other people aren't going to get, that you're not going to see in the stores. You'll be able to get some of it from from Cons and me, but that's it. So that's that. Oh, and here, let's pause real quick. So David's got a good question. I never saw the deck builder version. What was the main reason that was changed? Great question. So originally, Distilled was a deck builder. It started out that way, and then it morphed over time. In fact, David, if you go to papersandgames.com or distilledgame.com, you're going to be able to go back in my blog, and I actually go into long detail about it in one of my a couple of my blog entries. But essentially what was happening with the deck builder is people were building these decks, and every card had an effect, some sort of effect, which well that we're doing that again with some cool expansions. We've talked about the cast strength expansion. Well, every card used to have an effect: corn, rice, everything. Many of them, they weren't necessarily take that, but they had some effect at the table or to you or something else, much like a deck builder has. The problem was that in the deck builder's state, you were making 2, maybe 3 spirits the entire game, because you need to build that deck until you were exactly ready, and you didn't want to get rid of. The whole idea was, I like that idea of having players choose whether they wanted to hold on to it as a strong power, or they wanted to put it into their spirit. Later, I learned about Valley of the Kings, but it's like that kind of concept where, how long do you want to hold on to something? But yeah, so that's where we realized the thing that everybody loved more than anything else was the distilling process. So why not do that as much as possible, which means let's do that every round. And that kind of edged out the deck builder. Great question, David. Great question. So this is a really simple little pack. And it comes with, well, here, let me start with these. It comes with 4 unique distiller identities. Okay. And one is from the Americas, Alley Cat Armstrong. His specialty is making moonshine. His signature recipe is moonshine. We have one from Africa and the Middle East. We did this on purpose so that our Kickstarter backers could actually have a fun one to insert into their Africa and Middle East expansion as well. We have one from Germany. And then we have one from Russia. Now, some people might say, Russia, wait a minute. We thought about it for a bit, and we honestly did at the time that everything was happening with Russia, which we do not support whatsoever, happening in Ukraine. And we realized that a large, if not an overwhelming proportion of citizens in Russia do not believe in or support what's going on. And we felt that to honor a heritage, as opposed to glorify something new, right? So this person, and you can read about it on the back, is clearly from a different time as well, was okay. So we decided to stick with that. So those are our 4. You actually will get a mini little punch board in there too, because you'll have to punch out the 4 signature spirits, right? So that's a little mini punch board that we'll just punch out, right? And you'll have those spirits. You will get 4 signature ingredients as well. So nothing too fancy there. It's the signature ingredients, just like you'd see in the base game, but for the expansion. You also get 4 tasting cards. Now, I'm sorry to say I shouldn't have done this. I just realized it as I pulled this open. I've got 3.5 here. I ripped one in half because I wanted to test the core. We were having some questions about the core, making sure it was a black core, which was really important to the quality of the game as well as what we unlocked with the Kickstarter. So I decided to choose this one to rip. But you will get 4 flavor cards. But the deal is they'll be blank. So you get to fill them in. You get to sketch them. You get to decide what they are. We've got a 0, 1, a 2, and a 3. And so you will get to decide what it is that you want to put on those. And that can be something that could be a real fun thing for you. If you're giving it to a friend, you could do that. You could personally do it. If you're sitting around the table and maybe when someone pulls it or when they win the game, maybe you'll let someone get to name a flavor. That could be a fun thing. So you get to decide what that is. But we thought that was fun to do. And then last but not least, we have 2 special bottles that only you get as Kickstarter backers or others that decide to get this special promo if they want to buy it down the road. One is a fun absinthe bottle. So again, one of the rare special ones, not from a specific region. So nice absinthe bottle. It comes with the little spoon and the sugar cube too. And then this one, we just, this is kind of Eric having fun designer bottle. So like a designer bottle, but it is the designer his head on a bottle. So that's me on a bottle. And so again, fun stuff for that designer bottle and the absinthe bottle for those. So that'll be a fun little addition that you'll all have that you can kind of share. And really, you just integrate it into the deck. You don't have to say, oh, should I include or not? Just toss it in. It doesn't matter. And then obviously you have 4 more people to choose from, and they've got some really unique powers. So I'll just read one of them. Idris El Makrani from Algeria, during the sell phase. So when you're selling a spirit, you get an extra spirit point, an extra victory point in the game, extra spirit point. If you sell a spirit that has 4 or more alcohol. So if you have a high booze item, then you're going to get to have some payoff for that. So some good ones like that. Yeah. So Dave says, Dave Hutchins is here. So Dave helped us design the Tabletopia mod. He hopes the designer bottle is worth a lot of VP. It is worth 4. All those unique ones are. Yeah, maybe it should have been worth a little bit more. Didn't think about that. Maybe it should have. But anyway, yeah, fun stuff. So that'll be fun for all of you to kind of have fun with that. And again, knowing that nobody else, people that buy this off the shelf in the store, they won't have it. Just you all who supported the campaign will have it. Or people that want to fork over a little bit of cash. Because let me tell you, I mean, I think I've told this before, but you all backed it when the MSRP was $60. This sucker is $90 now, MSRP. So you got the deal of a century, everybody. Everyone else is going to buy is going to have to fork over a lot of cash for this stuff, just because it's such a high class product now with game trays. It's a bigger box than most boxes you're going to have on your shelves. Jolly asks, you mentioned the cask strength expansion. Will that go directly to retail? No, it will not. We are still working on that. We're pretty much close to being done. Eric's going to be starting to work on the artwork and graphic design for that as well very soon. We're trying to figure out if that's going to be something that we might need to either do another Kickstarter for, not to necessarily print them, but to print them and then ship them over. Does it go to retail or not? We're not sure yet. We're trying to figure that out. To be perfectly honest, what I'd like to do is wait to see how the reaction is for Distilled when it comes out. And whether that means, do we need to do another Kickstarter and have that as one? Do we need to have it just something that you can buy at cons? I do not think it's going to go to straight to retail. It's a really good question, Jolly. And another reason for that is this is not even going straight to retail. I'm just going to segue right into it. So you're going to see some people that might have this in retail. You might walk into a retail shop and this is going to be there. And if you do, that's fine. That means they backed it on Kickstarter. I want to be very clear about that. Retailers had the choice to back it on Kickstarter. If they did, they're going to be offering some of these extra goodies. That combined package is kind of probably be around $150 to get everything. While you all got it probably, and I see Benjamin said it, you probably all got it around $90. So again, you still had a heck of a deal. But that's kind of where it'll go. And I just don't know when that cask strength will come out. We're not sure yet, but definitely it is coming out. It's a fantastic design. Richard Woods designed it. And it's really fun to play, and it really knocks up the strategy and difficulty, or not difficulty, but crunchiness of Distilled as well. All right, so let's look at this. So here we go. It's a cute little box. I'm just going for scale. Oh god. Oh, so here's our cute little African Middle East expansion as compared to Distilled. It's like the baby. It's like the little baby. As a reminder, this adds a 4th region to the game. Right. So you've got the Americas, you've got Asia and Oceania, and you've got Europe. This adds Africa and the Middle East to add to that game. Now, when you open this, a couple things. This does not have here, let's look at the front too first. This does not have game trays or anything like this. This is a game that is meant to actually, if you want, sit next to it on the shelf for sure. Eric's designed a gorgeous box for this with some of our distillers on the side, some of our new ingredients or items on the side. And it can sit on the shelf, but you know how some people love to toss their expansion and combine it. We have, as a reminder, we have designed the game so that the entire game fits into your base game. So you could store this box somewhere else, whatever you want to do. Everything fits. And we did that on purpose. Yeah, we lost some money on that probably, but at the end of the day, we wanted to make it convenient for all of you. So Jamie asks, I see Blood Rage behind you. Is the still box the same size or bigger than Blood Rage? Good question. I'm almost positive that it's exactly the same size or maybe a slightly bigger and probably about 2 times as heavy. Where are you, Blood Rage? There you are. So it's about the same size, but it's definitely much, much heavier than Blood Rage. Good question, Jamie. And Blood Rage has minis. Distilled doesn't. So you'll get a cute little rule book, really well done, well designed, same kind of concept as the original rule book. And really the reason we have the rule book is you are introducing some new rules in this game. There's a couple new types of cards, a couple new types of rules. When you open the box, the first thing you're going to see is some new stuff to punch. So you'll have Iraq is one of them. We made sure to spell it 2 ways because some people spell it differently. So Iraq with a K and Iraq with a Q. You've got a couple new Spirit Awards with this game. 5 or 4 total. I thought it was 5. Let's see. Maybe I'm missing one. But 4 total. There's Buka. Oh yeah, there's the 5th one. Grog and Akpateshi. And again, these are all spirits from the Middle East and Africa. And then finally, here, let me turn around. The 6 different signature spirits from the 6 brand new distiller identities you'll get in the game. And I'm sorry, I kind of tore this apart, so it's not going to be wrapped. And I won't go through every one, but just to give you an idea of some of the cards you're going to get in here, you're going to get a bunch of new goals that will come in the game. Oops, that's the wrong one. Where is it? Yeah, so a handful of new goals. You're going to get a handful of new solo cards as well. All cards in the game in the expansion have a little African Middle East icon on it. You're going to get some new flavors as well. Some kind of fun new. Where did the other ones go? There. Some fun new flavors like let's see, what's one of my favorite new ones? Cardboard. That's like the game. And gravy. Yeah, gravy actually somehow has a one money with it. But so you get some fun new flavors too. And then of course you're going to get, like I said, 6 new distillers. So we've got a distiller from Cape Verde. We've got a distiller from United Arab Emirates. You might say, well, wait a minute, Dave, they don't have alcohol. They ban alcohol. You're exactly right. But, well, they don't make alcohol, but they import it. And so his backstory on the back is all about how he started as an importer. So again, we tried to stay accurate as much as possible. Lebanon, there's our man from the cover, Yusuf. South Africa, Kaya from South Africa. And again, remember, each of them are making something different. So South Africa actually is making whiskey, while maybe someone like Afriye from Ghana is making akpateshi. Oops, sorry. And then last but not least, we've got Fatima from Tunisia making buka. So lots of cool new powers. Each one has different powers, different types of things they're working with. And then, of course, last but not least, it will come with a bunch of new tasting flights because, as you can imagine, we wanted to add a bunch of new tasting flights to this that incorporate those new spirits. And we, of course, tell you how to put those all together in the rule book as far as which ones to choose. Maybe first, some are balanced. Let me show you one that's maybe not as an example. Is this one? No. Let's see if I can find it. Where'd it go? I had one that was, yeah, there it is. Some are more balanced than others. This one, for instance, is not balanced. I mean, it's balanced, but what it is it's got a bunch of every single one is aged spirits. So if you wanted to really kind of be brutal and play a game where it's all aged spirits, you could do that. If you wanted to do one the opposite of that, which actually might be on the other side, I think, if I remember right, nearly all non-aged spirits, you could do that. Right. So we really tried to set up and design different approaches to this. This was, of course, Richard being the mastermind behind much of this as far as helping find that balance between those. And then it's just a nice little normal insert, nothing fancy. What you'd find in a normal game, maybe not distilled base game, but what you'd find in a normal game, a basic cardboard insert. But this allowed this to be much more affordable. Oh, sorry, last but not least, some cool new bottles like a 55-gallon plastic drum, sherry butt, cool new bottles. Like I said, oops, I'm not showing you that. Like a cool long neck bottle. Some neat stills, like an alembic still. This is one of my favorite drawings by Eric, a wood chipper. This wood chipper essentially, well, I'll just read it. During the still phase, may use any clay or premium metal barrel as if it was a wood barrel. So basically, you're putting wood chips into your metal barrel, which people do to age and do that. Yeah, Jolly. Thank you. Yeah, I hope so. That was our intent. We basically designed 1.5 games in here. And we really wanted to kind of show the diversity of individuals as well. So here's our advertising agent. So diversity in gender, diversity in age. Our hipster distiller is one of my favorites. He's so hipster. He's got the Solo Cup shirt. Our distillery manager. Whoops, sorry. As well. So lots of different fun stuff there. And then I would be remiss without mentioning our mixologist. And why that's fun is this is Blake. So Blake was our spirits consultant throughout the game. When we asked about certain things with certain spirits, he also wrote all the flavor text on all the cards, all the flavors of the cards too. So again, lots of fun stuff in the African Middle East expansion. I would say, I mean, you do you. If you're the type that says, I just like to dump it all in at the beginning, totally do it. Oh, you know what? You know what I forgot to show because sorry, I'm getting so caught up with stuff. Give me 1 second. The other thing that we added, silly Dave, is some new. Sorry, trying to get through these. I think that's it. Almost okay. We added some new special cards that is going to make it a little bit more flavorful, strategic in the game. So now you can buy ancient grains. These count as 2 grains. You can see that in the top left. 2 grains. So it costs more, but it counts as 2 grains. Same thing with hydroponic plants. Those count as 2 plants in one batch, and organic fruit. But then taking it a little further, we also added neutral spirit alcohol. It allows you to actually buy alcohol from the market, but then it also allows you to essentially only take a single card as opposed to 2 cards. So it's kind of like a one-time use distillery upgrade kind of at the same time. And then we also, this is one of my favorites, we also did glucose syrup. This is a wild, counts as any one grain, plant, or fruit. So that's the thing. That's what I was getting to, is that I'm the type that likes to first play the game as if it was the intention of its design. So that's what we did. We designed Distilled, and then as we were designing it, we came up with new ideas that we thought, oh, this would be perfect for the expansion. Let's push that off, put in the expansion. So you can be the type that says, let's dump it all. Let's combine it. You can. The rule book talks about what you can and can't, or not. You can, and you don't have to just combine everything. You combine some of it. So read the rules about that. But maybe try playing Distilled once or twice, just normal. And then if you really liking that, then maybe try inserting that. It's just going to add a tiny bit tinge more complexity. So think of it as like base game 3.0 on the BGG scale. Add African Middle East Spirits 3.1. Add cask strength eventually down the road when we release it. That's like a 3.25 maybe. I mean, that might be probably around then, because you're actually replacing cards, basic cards in the original game with new cards that we've designed. So anyway, that's that. So hope you like that. Oh, let me just show you the back of the box. I forgot to do that. Nothing too fancy there, but nice little simple back of the box as well. It tells you what you have, tells you the size of the cards. They're of course the same exact size as the base game too. So we've got normal US cards and mini cards, and we have the sizes there, so you can order your sleeves if you want. And again, this all fits in the base game box of Distilled, sleeved and all. Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay, so that was that. I don't see any questions about African Middle East expansion, so I'm going to move on. We are going to go into talking about freight. So exciting stuff with freight. Right now, literally, maybe as we speak, actually, there's a chance it's already been shipped off from the warehouse. Essentially, what happens is that once What's Games finishes the production of Distilled, they pack it into boxes, big brown boxes that will hold 4 Distileds to a case, and then obviously the other stuff goes in other boxes as well. And they push this off to the side of into their storage, kind of their warehouse next to their factory. And then I work with a company. I work with Fun Again here in the States, but then they also work with a company called Art Global that is essentially called freight forwarders. They help move freight around the world. They set it up for you. They line it up, all that stuff. So I've been working with them for the last, I don't know, almost month, maybe 3 weeks. Because they've been finished with all the games for probably about 2 weeks-ish by now. So the games have been sitting there at the What's factory. Now, why you say, like, Gabe, come on, why can't it just get on a boat and get to my table right now? Well, that's because there's so many different steps and things, even though we've been working for probably 2 months on knowing this was kind of the end date. And so the freight forwarders have been working to try and find the right ship, match the games with the right ship. That would be leaving at the right time to deliver them to the right place. They've been doing that over the last week or two, or before that too. But I'm happy to report this is all tentative, so I can't promise anything. And obviously, the second I find out anything that's on a boat, it's not on the boat yet. It's on a boat, I'll tell you, because then that's when it's real. But they were supposed to pick the games up between the 19th and the 21st from What's. So now, and it's actually the 22nd right now in China, so it's over and done with. And get this, people, UK people in Europe tuning in right now, or you're not tuning in right now, probably, but when you see this tomorrow, you get first crack. Your boat is supposed to be loaded on your boat, and I think it means leave. The boat leaves, so maybe it is on the boat. I don't know. I believe your boat is going to leave on the 23rd. Supposedly, your boat is going to leave port on the 23rd, bound for, I think, maybe Staffordshire. I can't remember exactly where. I'll know that later. It's going to be bound for the UK. Our America's boat, and yes, it's just one boat, is going to be leaving on the 24th. So Christmas Eve, for those that do celebrate Christmas, on Christmas Eve, tentatively, our boat is supposed to leave port to head over to the States. As of right now, who know? I don't know UK's. I got to find that out. But I believe that tentatively, if everything stays on track, our games are supposed to arrive in the US at the warehouse in Indianapolis, which is where it is, on the 16th of January. So again, I'll believe it when I see it, but that's the plan right now. I put together a little graphic that I thought would be fun, and I'm gonna put it on social media a little bit later. But I thought this would be fun for all of you. Oh, cool, Jolly, you're in Germany. Yeah, awesome, Jolly. So you'll be one of the first to maybe get it, depending on how soon they fulfill it. Now, if you're okay, so let me back up. If you're a German backer and you're backed in German, then Happy Shops is going to fulfill it, and they are on a different one. So I'm only talking about English here. I'm talking about some Spanish because I'm fulfilling some Spanish, and I can't remember what else I'm fulfilling. But mainly, let's just play it on English. Oh, I'm fulfilling French too. I think maybe it's just French and Spanish. Anyway, with that said, this is a visualization of how much Distilled takes up in cartons. So currently, what will be on the boat going to North America will be 2 full, and I mean completely full, floor loaded, which means they do not put it on pallets. They literally pack it in floor to ceiling, and that saves you a lot of money and room. And it's not really that much damages. Everything gets damaged in this stuff, and so you have to kind of deal with that. But it's not that much more, and so the amount I'm saving is totally worth it. So 2 40-foot, actually one's a 45-foot container, 1 40-foot container, and 1 20-foot container, all floor loaded, floor to ceiling, all the way back. It's full of Distilled and everything else. So that's 12,000 base games, 7,000. So 12,000 of these will be coming to America. 7,000 of these, and then also 7,000 player coins, mini expansions, 5,000 packs of metal coins of the coins that many of you ordered, 5,000 coasters. Packs of coasters, 5,000 shot glasses, 4,000 neoprene play mats, and 3,000 metal cubes. So recipe cubes. So that's all what's on those containers. I'd be willing to bet that the Distilled, the base game takes up those 2 40-footers alone. I'm guessing, who knows? But again, exciting stuff. And then Europe and UK, you can kind of see here. I wanted to include this because you can kind of see like this is how it's all spread out. So 2,500 base games are going to Europe as opposed in UK, as opposed to 12,000 in America. Now, granted, only about half of those base games in America, a little less than that, or a little more than that, are Kickstarter backers, and the rest are retails pre-ordered. Some that are just getting the base game. I've got some for cons, so that's a little bit more. So that's kind of like it's not an exact comparison between the two. It's probably more like 7,000 base games going to backers and retailers in North America versus about 2,000 in Europe. But again, essentially 3 times, if not 4 times, the number of games are coming to the States as far as Kickstarter backers and support I had there, as opposed to Europe and UK. But you got to remember that if we're talking English speaking here, you've got the UK in Ireland, and so the UK and surrounding countries that are speaking English, and other people maybe like Jolly and others that do speak English in other areas of Europe, but that's not the most common language. So it makes sense why Canada and United States is going to be getting more, because that is the language. And then finally, Asia and Oceania has about a 20-foot container. Now, Asia and Oceania is interesting because they already have the games. I mean, not the backers, but they, of course, are right there. So they just drove a truck over and picked them up from the warehouse. It's a company called VFI. They are going to ship the games down to Australia. And then they're also going to be delivering to backers like Terrence Neo Tang Wei, who is our community manager and supporter for Distilled and Papers and Games. He's over there in Singapore, so he'll be getting the game, I think, relatively soon. I'd like to think some of those folks are going to be getting it very soon. We'll see. But that's exciting stuff. So again, I thought this would be a fun visualization for you all to see that. Okay. So anyway, so that's kind of how that works as far as the freight goes. We are hoping things are leaving port in the next couple days. Fingers crossed. I guarantee you the second those are on boats, I will know the boats and I will share those boats with you. So that you too can help and follow along and have fun kind of watching that boat trek its way across the world. In fact, I wanted to share with you. Oh my gosh, look at that. It's like vomit of boats on the ocean. Oh, sorry, you don't see it. I wanted to share with you this website. So this website is called marinetraffic.com. In fact, I'll just post it in the chat. This is a great place to kind of to visit, to be able to see all the different freight and boats out on the ocean or on waters around the world. You can see too, this kind of gives you an idea of how we, even just Distilled, is one small tiny speck in the grand scheme of things. If I pull out here, we can kind of see, and obviously that's shown multiple countries, but that's probably a good example. We can see traffic around the world. In fact, I think one of my favorite things, let's see, is it this one? Density map. Yeah, let's see if I can. There you can kind of see where the density is. Let's turn off there. You can see the different kind of density of where ships travel and how they go between ports as well. So I thought that was a pretty cool thing to see that visualization also. Let's turn on fleets again. So anyway, let's turn off density maps. So this is a pretty cool site that's also got an app. And the coolest thing is you're going to be able to enter, when I send it to you, you're going to be able to enter in the exact boats Distilled is on and be able to watch that and actually get updates pushed to you as well, notifications if you want to or not. But if we go back down to China, and we can see that the density of these boats in port, I can give you a little sneak peek here. I actually do know the two boats that we are supposedly assigned to. You can see one's hovering out in the ocean right now, and one is in Qingdao right now. They are not in port. Like, they need to be going to Shanghai to pick up stuff for Distilled. So they're not in port. They're not ready yet. But eventually that's what I'll be able to do, is I'm going to be able to send you exact boats. And as an example, whoops, that's not a good, let's see if I can find one that's real. Oh, here we go. As an example, what you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to pull up that boat, and you're going to be able to kind of track that boat along. You're going to be able to know more about that boat, find out more about it. That's not a good example because it's not really much of a freighter. Let's see if we can find another one. Let's see one that, yeah, it's not bad. Here we go. Oh, that's a tiny guy, but this is good. And what this will do is help you, it's not too tiny, help you see exactly what the boat Distilled is going to be on, coming to the UK, coming to the US, give you details on it, give you its different path, pictures as well. You can see lots of different stuff you can see here as far as ratings and other things too. And you'll even be able to kind of watch, if I remember it, you can kind of watch its history as well, like where it's traveled. So that'll be a neat thing for you to be able to kind of follow along as well. So anyway, just wanted to point this out, marinetraffic.com. There's an app as well that you'll be able to follow along. And the second that I get confirmation that Distilled is loaded on those boats, I will be sure to send it to all of you. I'm gonna post it to all socials, and I'll probably send out an official Kickstarter campaign update, even if it's not the first start of the month like I usually do, just so people can follow along. And there's other cool stuff. You can turn on layers. You can see weather patterns. You can see the wind, where it's going to. Obviously, that can kind of make a difference. I don't know if some of this stuff you can't do like this. Yeah. Oh, maybe I can do it for some of this stuff you can't do because you have to pay. So you can do free. You're going to be able to follow Distilled's boat for free. I actually did decide to buy just for a month because I figured that'll be fun to be able to have some extra features unlocked as well. So something to think about. Marinetraffic.com can be a fun thing for us all to follow along together. So that's that. I'm almost done. If there's any questions out there, feel free to post them. In fact, the last thing I have is a little bit just talking about cons in 2023. I know it's forever from now, but it's cold and we don't even want to think about that, or we do probably want to think about that. But I can confirm that I'm hoping, cross fingers, that I can go to the UK Games Expo this year. I am 99% sure I'm going to. I have been applying for VAT because I have to have VAT registration to be able to sell over there, to be at the con, also to actually have my games there. So I'm a little worried, but I've applied for VAT and I should be hopefully getting my VAT number soon. It has been a very long process, a very stressful process, and I want to just send a super big thanks to Richard. Richard has been on the phone with them multiple times. I think my application has now been denied 3 times for no reason other than like I answered something wrong. I didn't do anything illegal. I just answered something wrong. So again, that is exciting because the second I receive my VAT number, that means I am going to UK Games Expo. I'm booking a plane ticket. We're going to be there. We have a booth reserved. So again, it's most likely we're going to be there. It's just a matter of, I'm hoping I can be there. So that's probably happening for sure. That's in early mid-June. I can't remember the dates exactly. But that'll be a lot of fun. Let's see. Jolly asked if I'm going to be at Essen. I'm not sure. Distilled will, I'm sure, be at Essen because Happy Shops will have it there. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make it to Essen because it starts to conflict with when I'm teaching or when I'm working again, but we'll see. We'll see. Oh yeah, Kim. Yeah, good question. Kim asks, can I watch the initial live unboxing? Yeah, you definitely can. It's if you're talking about today, this unboxing, this is a small version. This is the small expansion. That is just here. You'll be able to see that later. The other one is the full game. We did that about a month ago, and you can still watch that. That's on YouTube as well as on Facebook on those pages. That's a recorded video, so you can watch that. And Kim actually was in Scotland with me when I created Distilled, so that's a fun thing to see as well. So yeah, good question, Kim. So I'll be there. I'm going to be at Origins in Ohio. Origins is June 21st to 25th. So 2 shows in June. That's going to be a busy month for Distilled. So I'll be there. I'll have a booth there. We will not only be selling Distilled and its goodies. So for those that missed the Kickstarter, they'll be able to get some of those things. We're also going to be play testing Luthier. So we'll have Luthier, or not, well, we'll be play testing, but preview it. By that point, it'll be pretty well developed, probably close to being finished as far as gameplay wise. So you'll get to have a sneak peek of that as well. So if you're interested in playing that in person, you'll probably be able to sign up for that somehow. And then finally, we will be at Gen Con. I have received confirmation that I will have a booth at Gen Con as well. So I'm really excited about that. That's going to be in early August. So lots of chances to catch me and Distilled in person. I would love to see you. Thank you in person for being a supporter all these years, these 3 exact years. Yeah, so that'll be kind of our con schedule for sure this year. It might be some others. I'm going to be playtesting Luthier at Protospiel, Minnesota in January, mid to late January. So if you're in the area and you want to playtest that is January 20th, I think, or that weekend. It's by the Mall of America in a hotel. And if you're just a playtester, you can show up. It's really cheap. And for the whole weekend, you can playtest tons of games, lots of great games always being playtested. Your chance to get feedback and help mold games, especially with Luthier. I'll also be at Con of the North. Con of the North is in February on the west side of the cities, which is more of a small games convention, also with Luthier. So both of those will be chances to play Luthier. And in both of those cases, Abe will be there too. So Abe, the original creator of the game and co-designing Luthier with me, will also be there too, helping run some of those sessions too. So get a chance to meet him too. So yeah, I think that's about it. Which is great because I'm clocking in just under an hour. I want to thank all of you, as always, for joining in, for showing your support, for commenting, sending questions my way. It's a joy, as always, even if it's just getting to see a little statement that makes my day. So I appreciate all of you joining in and tuning in tonight. And the next one will be in the new year. It'll probably be right before Protospiel is my guess. And by that point, honestly, I'll have a lot more information. I'll probably know about when you're going to be roughly getting it. I am going to be doing a launch party here in Menominee, so people that can come by and get close, you can pick your game up from me. We'll be doing autographs as well for those that want. For Eric and I will be there. So there'll be a launch party as well. So I'll probably talk about that too. So lots of fun stuff as always. I hope you all have a wonderful holiday season, a great and safe, happy New Year. Stay warm out there for us folks in the upper Midwest. And Salon Javad, all of you, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next year.